Manifestation was the only thing that helped me heal from multiple illnesses. And I'm going to tell you why, and I'm going to tell you how. Because I know that if manifestation is powerful enough to help me overcome illnesses I spent years trying to fix, then it can change your life too. I'm coming up on my 6-year anniversary of healing from illness, and the other day I came across this video.
Hey guys, so I literally have the best news that I've had in years, and I just got my retest results back from my doctor from all of the parasite and gut infections, and I'm sorry for crying, but all of the infections are gone. And I think I was at a point where I didn't know if that was possible. I remember being in a time where I was ready to give up, and that I didn't think that it was possible to actually get rid of all these infections, and it happened and they're gone. So I just wanted to put this out there to tell you guys to never ever give up, because no matter what, you can get through whatever it is that's...
I will never forget that day, because it proved to me that manifestation works. So my goal with this video is to inspire you to believe that if I can do this, that there is nothing you can't do or manifest. Whether that is healing, like me, manifesting your ideal physical appearance, financial freedom, a specific person, your ideal career, the love of your life, anything. So here are today's chapters with timestamps, which are in the description box below as always. As a quick reminder, this video is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult with a qualified and licensed physician or other medical care provider. Welcome back. If you're new, hi, I'm Jessie Riemann. And on this channel, I show you that you are not meant to live a life that makes you feel stressed and insecure and unhappy. I'm going to help you become your highest self and manifest the life that you actually want in the most aligned way for you to get it through intuitive self-development and manifestation. If you would like to work with me one-on-one so that I can help you become your highest, most confident self and manifesting absolutely anything you desire in the most aligned way for you specifically, especially if it's something you've been struggling for a while to manifest and you are ready for me to help you remove whatever has been blocking you from getting your manifestation, you can sign up for one-on-one coaching at this link, which is in the description box below. I don't know if you can see this, but there's a scratch on my finger because Oreo got a little excited when I was getting the remainder of the boxes from, months ago when I moved out, and she jumped out of the box and was playing and scratched me. So we're going to start by talking about why manifestation was the only thing that ever helped me heal. Then we're going to talk about how it helped and exactly what I did. And lastly, extremely importantly, by the way, so make sure that you do not skip chapter 3, how I figured out why I had resistance to actually getting well and what I did to fix it. So let's get started with chapter 1. Why was manifestation the only thing that helped me heal from illness? So I just want to make sure that I give you a quick refresher. So manifestation means that you always get, or essentially manifest, right, more of what you are and what you most dominantly think about, right? So just remember that as I'm talking. I started having health problems exacerbated by an eating disorder that I ended up developing, and that went on for about 15 years. As the stress that I was obviously putting my body under got worse and worse, one health problem after another started popping up. Hypothyroidism, which eventually turned into Hashimoto's, chronic strep throat, tonsillitis, and I eventually had my tonsils removed, kidney stones, which I had to go to the emergency room for, 13 gut infections, including 2 parasites and a horrible bacteria called C. diff, multiple colds and flus a year, worsening digestion and the ability to only digest about 10 foods. And I went the typical route. I saw multiple doctors, took my prescribed medications. When that wasn't working, I saw specialists, had all this testing done. I then turned to naturopaths, had even more testing done, followed these very restrictive diets that are supposedly healing diets to the T, took tons of supplements that were prescribed by said naturopaths, and none of it was working. I'd have temporary relief from a few symptoms before more symptoms would pop up and things would start getting worse. I was missing a lot of work and heavily shaming and guilting myself about it. And by the way, I just have to say, thank goodness for all of my incredible clients that I had at that time who were so patient with me and stayed with me through all of that. I will forever be so grateful to all of those people. I felt desperate. I felt depressed. I felt so exhausted from battling all this illness for so long. I was at my wit's end and I wanted to give up. Understandably so, right? And it really felt like everyone knew me as a sick person. But there are two most important reasons that I wasn't getting better, no matter how much action I took. And the second reason we're going to talk about in the last chapter, chapter 3 today, and it's extremely, extremely important. So please, again, make sure that you do not skip that chapter. But the first reason really goes back to the basics of how we manifest. Remember how I told you to keep in mind that you always get more of what you are and what you most dominantly focus on? I often described myself as sick. I would wake up every morning and the first thing that I would do is start talking about how yucky I felt. I often described how hard life was because of my illness. I was always saying why I couldn't do this or why I couldn't do that because of my illness. Now I know what you may be thinking. Who could blame me? I was only being realistic and honest about my circumstances, right? Well, logically, yes, that's true. And I'm not about to sit here and invalidate the fact that I was struggling. This is why it's going to be so incredibly crucial for you to make sure that you watch chapter 3. But continuing to talk about and describe my life this way and think about my life this way was also one of the very same things that was keeping me sick. I constantly thought of myself as sick, damaged, and struggling. I mean, I was literally programming this into my subconscious every single day by constantly thinking about it, talking about it multiple times a day. Now, yes, I was literally taking a whole bunch of action to try to fix it. But because I would continue to look for proof every single day that I was still struggling, because I was literally telling my subconscious every single day that I am sick, it's unfortunately not going to matter how much action you take when that is your everyday mentality. I realized that I was going to have to reprogram my subconscious beliefs about my ability to be healthy, to change my everyday focus, and to figure out why I had resistance to getting well in the first place if I wanted to finally get better. So moving on to chapter 2 now. How was manifestation the only thing that helped me heal from illness? Right around the time that I finally started recovering from my eating disorder was when I discovered manifestation. And suddenly it all made sense. And I finally understood that while, yes, I had been struggling, I was also subconsciously maintaining a program that I am a sick person, which was making me manifest more and more and more illness. So I was now ready to start consciously manifesting my healing and good health. Now, as I am always a fan of telling you, manifestation is meant to be an individual process. And there are multiple ways of manifesting things like the healing that I did. But I'm going to tell you how I did it. I started every single morning affirming multiple times, I am getting healthier and feeling better every day. And I also started a daily visualization practice where I would imagine myself feeling healthy and enjoying life. Now, did I fully believe this when I was affirming this and visualizing this? No. But I understood that it was going to take a little time and repetition to teach the subconscious mind, my subconscious mind, to believe something different. Remember, your subconscious doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's not. It only knows to accept what you continue to tell it and what you continue to show it over and over and over. So yeah, at first, my mind would say, no, I don't. I feel crappy. But I knew that I couldn't let that be my narrative anymore if I wanted to get healthy for real this time. So I kept replacing that statement with my new affirmation, and I kept doing my visualization practice almost every single day because I owed it to myself to really try this and really commit fully to this process because I had already tried everything else. I knew that that wasn't the answer for me anymore. And I understood the science of how this process was going to work. And so I knew I was going to need to give it time and be very consistent with it. And yes, there were days that I didn't want to do it, but I also knew that, like I said, I was ready to get healthy for real this time. I also quit watching any information on health problems. I'm not kidding you. I used to spend hours researching those exact health issues, but I was unknowingly continuing to program that illness into my subconscious every single time I would watch this kind of content, which was then, of course, manifesting more and more and more illness. Instead, I started watching a lot of videos on people who had healed themselves through the power of their mind, through reprogramming their subconscious mind, and through manifestation. And that started to help me believe in the possibility and program that into my subconscious mind to believe that if it was possible for them to be able to heal themselves that way, and that there were so many people with so many incredible success stories, that I could heal my own body. And lo and behold, it started working. My daily practice of affirming and visualizing and watching videos on manifestation and of people who had healed themselves through manifestation and, of course, brain reprogramming was finally working. My digestion started to get better and better, and within just a few months, 100% of all my gut infections were completely gone, like you heard in the video at the start of this video. And I started being able to digest a wider variety of foods than I had had probably since I was a kid. Hashimoto's went into complete remission. No more strep, no more kidney stones, thank God. No more colds, no more flus. I almost couldn't believe it, to be honest with you. I mean, I'd spent the last several months listening to other people's success stories, and I had been ill for so long that I just couldn't help but think, could this really be me? Could this really be happening for me? Like, finally? But it was all paying off because I was changing who I am, who I was, right? And I was identifying as a healthier person so often that not only was my body responding, and by the way, make sure you watch my video titled How Your Thoughts Become Your Body, because that's going to explain exactly why that started happening. But it was making me more open to and more focused on ideas and advice and inspiration that would end up helping me heal, such as being inspired to watch those success story videos or more videos on mindset shift. That knowledge had been out there in the world, but because I was always so focused on illness and why it was so hard to heal from illness, I couldn't see it. I wasn't open to even being able to see it. I wouldn't even have been open to that kind of information because I was identifying as a sick person most of the time. But once I opened my mind and started affirming as if I was in fact healthy, then all of that knowledge and all of that information started presenting itself to me because I manifested it. And then I was able to use that information to help me heal. And this is exactly how manifestation works and how insanely powerful it can be for absolutely anything that you want to manifest. Again, whether that is financial freedom, healing, physical appearance changes, a specific person, the love of your life, truly, I mean anything you want to manifest. Lastly, we've come to chapter 3, where we are going to talk about my resistance. I am a firm believer that one of the reasons you're not getting your manifestation is because sometimes there's actually part of you that doesn't want to get your manifestation. Now, I know that that might sound a little bit crazy, so just hear me out. Now, what I mean by this is that there can sometimes be a part of you that thinks that something bad or something worse is going to happen if you were to get the thing that you're trying to manifest. And this means that it creates resistance, which ends up blocking your manifestation. So one of the best things that you can do is get in touch with whatever this subconscious part of you is scared of, so that you know why you haven't been getting your manifestation and what resistance you need to remove so that you can finally manifest it. So what was my resistance in this situation? Because remember, a lot of my health problems were already going away or had gone away by this point, and I was feeling significantly better. However, a lot of the time I was still feeling kind of sick and run down because there was one more piece of the puzzle for me to solve. So when I finally asked myself this one important question, I finally got the answer to why I still didn't feel completely healthy. What do I get out of staying sick? And the answer to that question was, if I'm sick, then I have an excuse to rest and to stop pushing myself to extremes. And my hope is that if I'm sick, then maybe people won't need my help as much, and maybe people won't need to come to me to talk about their problems as much, which, by the way, wasn't working because, can you say boundaries? Whoa. I wanted to be sick because I told myself that if I got well, that I'd have to start pushing myself to extremes like I used to, and that I would no longer have an excuse to say no to people. But those things didn't have to be true anymore. Yes, I was going to have to get way out of my comfort zone, but I now knew exactly what I needed to do to start creating change so that I could remove my resistance to actually getting well. So I started to give myself permission to rest, to take breaks. I started to be a whole hell of a lot nicer to myself because it is near impossible to heal in an environment with an abusive person. And when one is living right up here, being cruel to yourself all the time, healing is not going to happen. So that had to go. And I started to support myself and talk to myself like someone that I actually genuinely cared about. I started to set boundaries with people and, most importantly, uphold them, which was super scary and it wasn't easy. But here's one thing that I want you to know. The right people stayed in my life and respected those boundaries. And the right people will always be the ones who, even if it's uncomfortable, because most people don't like change and they don't like it when you change, the right people are still going to love you. The right people are going to respect the fact that you have a right to have that boundary and they are going to stay in your life. I say this a lot too, but it is super key. I also started adding things into my life that brought passion and fun and joy back into my life, because when your identity is that you're sick or your identity is anything negative about yourself, you have a tendency to stop doing things that you enjoy doing. And I knew for me that that was the mentality of somebody who would continue to be sick. And that was the missing piece for me. Bam! I started to feel better. I started to have more energy, and I finally started to feel happy. And I fully and completely believe that if I had never started affirming or visualizing myself as healthy as consistently as I did, that I would never have realized or even been open to the fact that there was part of me that wanted to be sick, and then what I could do to change it. Manifestation truly, honestly, and wholeheartedly changed my life. I would still be sick today if I had never discovered manifestation or started applying the principles. And I am so beyond grateful that I got my life back and that I have the opportunity to finally live and know that that doesn't have to come from pushing or torturing or exhausting myself. And that is the number one reason that I am so passionate about teaching manifestation to any and every person that I can possibly teach it to. Because I care with all my heart about helping you change your life and about helping you make your life whatever you want it to be. Because you absolutely can. I promise you. Please allow this video to inspire and motivate you to use manifestation to get absolutely anything your heart desires. I sincerely intend that this video helped you. If you would like my one-on-one help finally getting your manifestation success story, you can sign up for one-on-one coaching and we'll get you your manifestation. If you liked this video, please do me a quick favor and leave this video a thumbs up. It only takes a second, but it helps me out so much more than you know, because it lets YouTube know to get these videos out to more people so that I can help more people exactly like you. You are worthy. You are remarkable. I love you. Thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.